All right, everybody. Good morning. How we doing? Matt Moda here with OddsJam, and in this video, just giving you my favorite college hoops plays for today. College basketball bets. I have a couple here that I really like, so we can get into it. Of course, using OddsJam, using the positive expected value page to find these sharp college basketball bets, so we can get into it. The first one that I'm going to lock in here. So I get a lot of questions about what to do in a situation like this where it's the same play, just at a different number, right? Like Missouri versus Wichita State, under 142.5, under 143. There's a couple options of what you could do here. Number one, you could just take all of them. You could say if it's positive EV, it's positive EV, and I want to maximize my opportunity in which I'm making money, and by doing that, you're placing positive expected value bets. Another option would be to take the one with the highest EV percent. In this case would be the under, well, the odds change, so maybe this won't be available anymore. It's not, but we still see it here with Furman versus Appalachian State. So the another option would be just take the bet with the highest expected value. In this case would be this under, so different play, under 140 at plus 102. Another option would be take the one with the tightest width, the smallest market width, which would also be this one here, this Furman versus Appalachian State. So I actually haven't looked into this play yet, but this play I did look into, UC Irvine versus San Diego State. And this is going to be my first official college hoops bet for today. I recommend putting a full unit on this one unit, USC Irvine versus San Diego State under 138.5. The OddsJam perfect line, no vig odds, prices this at minus 116. And we are getting it on FanDuel at minus 110. So the sharpest sports books in the world price this at minus 116. OddsJam back tested thousands of betting opportunities to determine what sports books are the best at pricing odds and just use them to set the market moving forward. So these no vig odds that you see here can be viewed as the true line, the perfect line of what a market should be priced at. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So anywhere in which you are beating the closing line is a profitable positive expected value play. So in this case, the minus 110 on FanDuel. And then for totals and spreads and player props that have higher numbers, what I like to do is view the event page in a new tab. We're basically just trying to see not only where every book prices this individual under, which is what we're taking, but where does every sports book price this total in general? Because if you do that, you can see some crazy discrepancies between the sports books. Like FanDuel has this at 138.5 at minus 110 odds. Look at where every other book prices it. We see 137.5 at Caesars, DraftKings, Betfred, BetOnline, and BetRivers have it at a full point lower at 137.5. Then we see PointsBet and the OddsJam perfect line price this at 136.5, two full points lower than what we got it at. And that's insane. That is a remarkable gap between the bet we are placing and where every other book has this total priced. Now, I know with totals, a point, 2 points, half a point, doesn't seem like a lot, but you have to think about it from a math perspective. So if you will ride with me on this scenario, let's pretend that every bet that you place is at minus 110 odds, right? That's the standard you'll see most books for main lines, minus 110 odds. So you place 1,000 bets for $100 each at minus 110 odds, and you win half of your bets. That's not horrible. Winning half your bets is a better win percentage than some people have. Guess what? From that interaction, you are losing $5,000 roughly from winning half your bets at minus 110 odds. Now let's pretend instead of winning half, you win 55. 5% on a nightly basis doesn't feel that different, right? Instead of winning 10 out of 20, you win 11 out of 20. Doesn't feel that much different. But that 5% gap goes from down 5K to up 4.5K for every 1,000 bets. And you win half versus 55. That's, remarkable, obviously, over the course of time, right? So one way to get that small percentage up from 50 to 55, just constantly maximize the best odds, the best totals, the best spreads. So if this total lands at exactly 138, which isn't that outrageous of a scenario, right? You'd be surprised at how good sportsbooks on average are at pricing these plays. How often do we see Vegas does it again. The total was at 138, lands at exactly, or the total was at 137.5, lands at exactly 138. You see that all the time. Well, if that happens in this game, our bet is the only one that would have hit. 137.5 loses, 137 loses, 136.5 loses. Our 138.5 wins. So if you're able to do that, this one bet multiplied by 1,000 bets, again, it can literally be the difference between losing $5,000 and making $4,500. So it's a big deal over the course of time. So getting these, even if they seem small advantages, mean a huge deal over the course of time. So anyways, after that spiel, this is going to be my first betting pick for today. UC Irvine, San Diego State under 138.5. Now let's look at this. No, the odds changed on that one. Let me give this a refresh. The odds are kind of changing on me a little bit. So next play here, we've got Baylor versus Marquette, under 155.5. So the OddsJam no vig odds price this at about minus 112. If you want to round up from minus 111.6, we can get it at 3 books: Bet Rivers, Bet MGM, and PointsBet at minus 110. But let's look and see. So FanDuel prices this at minus 115. That's a good price. Or they're favoring the under, as is Pinnacle at minus 129, favoring the under. But of course, we want to open this one up in a new tab as well and see where other books price it. Excuse me. And this is exactly what we're looking for, right? We're getting the under 155.5. Caesars, Betfred, and price it at 155. We see DraftKings and BetOnline price it at 154.5, so a full point lower. And then we see Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, price this at 154. So the fact that BetOnline, which is a very sharp book, has this at 154.5, and then Pinnacle has it at 154, we are getting under 155.5. That is a good sign. So for this one, it's not as big of an edge, right? If you compare the difference between the first play and this play, it's a good play, not as big of an edge. So I would only recommend putting half of a unit on this one, and then I'd recommend a full unit on this UC Irvine one. But that's going to be it for my college hoops plays for today. A couple plays that I had, the odds ended up shifting on me. That's okay. That just shows you the importance of moving fast. But that's going to be it. That's going to be all I got for you guys. So I do appreciate you all watching, and have a good one.